Hi, I'm Aaron from the Michigan School of Apologetics. Today's question is, what's the number one apologetic issue in the world today? Well, if you live in America, you might think that the number one apologetic issue is something like skepticism or evolution or atheism. But in fact, that's actually a very few number of people. The number one apologetic issue in the world today, and this is very surprising, and I teach this at my seminars, is self-righteousness. That's right. Dr. Norman Geisler said the purpose of apologetics is to remove hurdles and obstacles so that people can come to Christ. We answer questions, we give a defense, we give an answer for the gospel so that people can see Jesus as beautiful and want Jesus as their Savior. So what's the number one apologetic issue in the world today? The number one issue is pride and self-righteousness. And so when you go to like the Middle East or all over the world and you talk to a Muslim, for an example, they believe that their self-righteousness, that their goodness, their righteousness will be good enough for God. And we know that God expects absolute perfection and that we all sin and fall short of God's glory. And none of us will be good enough. So we have to give an answer or a reason why that's not true. You look at Hinduism, these precious people by the hundreds of millions are hoping that their effort, their goodness, their works will reincarnate them to something better. Buddha and Buddhism is the same thing. There's that self-righteousness that they hope that their effort, their self-effort, will somehow enable them to move on to a better place. If you look at the West, the major cities in Canada, the major cities in the US, the major cities in all of South America are Catholic, and Roman Catholicism in their DNA of their doctrine, they believe that it's Jesus plus their works, Jesus plus their self-effort, Jesus plus their self-righteousness. So no matter where you go, pride and self-effort, self-righteousness is the number one thing that keeps people from embracing Jesus Christ as God and Savior. Now you think about atheism and skepticism, when you talk to people like that, at their core, they're very prideful, they're very self-righteous, they're humanists, which means they believe that humans have the answer, they can do it themselves, they don't need God. That's pride and self-righteousness. So no matter where we go, what religions or skepticism or atheism, the core idea is self-righteousness. And that's why the book of Romans was written, those first 3 chapters, to show us that the law is the knowledge of sin, and God's law shows us our depravity and our sin, that we can't save ourselves and that we need a Savior. And that's why I love Ray Comfort's ministry so much in Living Waters. People may not like his approach or maybe his demeanor or the way he preaches, but the core teaching of Hell's Best Kept Secret, if you haven't watched that, I really encourage you to watch that teaching, Hell's Best Kept Secret, because it teaches us that for man to be saved, they have to be seen their need before they can be shown grace. So if you go to livingwaters.com, you'll be encouraged by that. Also, the Michigan School of Apologetics, we have many teachings there. Thank you for watching. I hope this teaching has been helpful.